Students, I welcome you all for the online class of economics. Today we will be going to learn the topic related to production function and returns to a factor. Increasing returns to a factor. Causes of increasing returns to a factor. Yesterday's class we not completed, but today we will be going to start. Students, what do you mean by causes of increasing returns to a factor? What a way we can increase the factors? Increasing returns to a factor occurs because of the following factors. Very first, fuller utilization of resources. Definitely yesterday's class also I explained to you if you want, as I have to explain the diminishing causes of diminishing returns to a factor, but I am going to recall the points what we learned yesterday's class. Causes of increasing returns to a factor. Student, increasing returns to a factor occurs because of the following factors. Very first, fuller utilization of the fixed factors. In the initial stage, fixed factors such as machine remains underutilized. Its fuller utilization calls for greater application of the variable factor labor. So, fixed factor, machinery, land, these all things must be fully utilized till the time we can make the increasing returns to a factor. Means, like for example, if 4 machineries are there and the work was done in 3 machineries only, or the capacity of machine in a machine to work is of 10 workers and we employed only 8, so it is totally wrong. So we have to, if we are fully utilizing up to 10 labors on a machinery, or we are utilizing not the 3 but the 4 out of 4 machinery for our production, then only we are making, when we can make up to that we can make the increasing returns to a factor. Division of labor and increase in efficiency. Definitely when we do the work, division of work before starting the job, it will give specialization and efficiency in the work also. The people will give the best results as if we do, and it will help us to increase the returns to a factor. So specialized workers may be used for different processes of production. This increases efficiency of productivity of the variable factor. Accordingly, marginal productivity tends to rise. Better coordination between the factors. So long as fixed factors remains underutilized, additional application of the variable factor tends to improve the degree of coordination between the fixed and variable factors. As a result, marginal product MP increases and total product TP increases at the increasing rate. So there must be a better coordination between the factors. So long what is there, as fixed factor remains underutilized, additional application of the variable factor tends to improve the degree of coordination. So that makes the fixed and variable factors. Do you agree with the view that TP increases even when MP is decreasing? The answer is yes. TP increases even when MP is decreasing, because MP is an addition to TP. When MP is decreasing, only an addition to TP is decreasing, not the TP as such. TP continues to increase though at a diminishing rate. TP start declining only when MP is negative. Can TP ever fall when more and more of the variable factor is combined with the fixed factor? The answer is yes. TP will fall when MP of the variable factor become negative. As I already explained to you in the tabular data, that is the particular level where when MP goes negative or below 0, -1, -2. That is the situation when total product also start declining. So TP will fall when MP of the variable factor becomes negative, that comes in minus. It is a situation of excessive employment of the variable factor or a situation of disgust and employment of the variable factor like labor. Causes of diminishing returns to a factor. When we see student, diminishing returns to a factor or the law of diminishing returns may be explained in the terms of the following factors. Very first, fixity of the factor. Fixity of the factors is the principal cause behind the law of diminishing return. As more and more units of the variable factor are combined with the fixed factor, the latter gets excessively utilized. It suffers greater wear and tear and loses its efficiency as the diminishing returns comes. Imperfect factor substitutability. Factors of productions are imperfectly substitutes of each other. More and more of labor cannot be continuously used in place of capital. Accordingly, diminishing returns are bound to set. Like for example, I already introduced to you, if one piece of land is, the capacity of the land is of 4 workers can be worked, but we are employed 10 workers. Do you think more income, more outcome will be there? Definitely no. But what the income we were generating out of 4 also, that will also not come. So that will result diminishing returns to a factor. Poor coordination between the factors. If the factors of production like land, labor, capital, it is not utilized properly, no coordination is there, definitely it will also give you decreasing returns. Increasing application of the variable factor along with the fixed factor eventually disturb the idle factor. This result in poor coordination between the fixed and variable factors. Here the diminishing returns. Assumptions of the law states that student, what are the assumptions of the returns to a factor? The following are the assumptions. Very first, ratio in which factors of production are combined can be changed. You do so. If fixed factor, till the time you can change the variable, change it. But at a certain level, you have to change with the variable the fixed factor also, so as to get the more returns. Units of the variable factor must be homogeneous or equally efficient and increase one by one. Thus, the law of diminishing returns satisfies not because later units of the variable factors are less efficient than the former ones. It seems because the idle factor ratio is disturbed or because the availability of the only fixed factors like machines reduces per unit of the variable factor. State of technology does not change. These are the assumptions of the law of demand. 3 stages of productions are there. Law of variable proportion suggests 3 stages of production, also called 3 phases of production. Stage 1, when MP is increasing, called the stage of increasing return. Stage 2, when MP is diminishing, called the stage of diminishing returns. And stage 3, when MP is negative, called the stage of negative returns. Significance of the stages of production when we see, will you as a producer stop in stage 1 of production? The answer is no, because it was giving increasing return. More and more we want increasing return. So no, because in stage 1 employment of additional unit of the variable factor, other things remaining constant, is giving more and more marginal output. Definitely we will not stop. Will you as a producer enter in stage number 3 of production? Definitely no, because in stage 3 more and more losses are there. Employment of every additional unit of the variable factor will give negative impact. Loss of output. In fact, it is too foolish to get into a situation where total output declines even when the cost of production is rising on account of additional employment of variable factors. This brings us to the conclusion that you as a producer will stop only in stage number 2. Technically, it means there are 3 producers will find the producer will find his equilibrium when he maximizes his profit only in stage number 2. Up to there they will work. Stage number 3 situation they will not prefer also, they will not go also. There is always an idle factor ratio. What happens if this idle ratio is crossed? If the idle factor ratio is crossed, student, diminishing returns to a factor set in MP of the variable factor start declining. TP increases only at a decreasing rate. A situation of constant returns to a factor, between the situation of increasing returns to a factor and diminishing returns to a factor, a firm may have a situation of constant returns to a factor. It is a situation when MP of the variable factor tends to remain constant even when more and more of the variable factor is combined with the fixed factors. When MP is constant, say equals to 10, TP will increase only at a constant rate. Every time it will increase by 10 units of output. Postponement of the law. What do you mean by postponement of the law? It should not be interpreted but to mean that the law cannot be avoided. Ultimately, the law must set in when factors ratio does not remain optimum. So that is postponement of the law. It says it will not be. It is not saying the law gets to over. It is said just to postpone the law if it is required, so as to get the output. So postponement of the law, variable proportion, the situation of diminishing MP is possible under 2 situations as under when there is improvement in technology used in the process of production, so that greater output is achieved with the same inputs. When some substitutes of the fixed factor is discovered, so that the constant of fixity of the factor is removed. However, such a situation is very rare if not possible. Relation between total product and marginal product and average product in marginal product. Table 2 and figure number 2 illustrate how TP, MP and AP are related to each other. TP, MP and AP, when we see students, units of land, hectares, fixed factor, units of variable factor. Here one more is there, fixed factor. We had started from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. MP, you can see fixed factor also change, variable factor changing, fixed factor remaining same only. First column, second column, variable factor changing. MP, marginal product and total product, I said now how to calculate there. NAP, you have learned the formula, you can get it. If MP is there, you can calculate the total product. Like for example, I will be helping you to know once again. Fixed factor I said common, it is increasing 0, 1, 2, 1 unit increasing labor, variable factor has the production capacity has to be increased. So MP, what you are seeing there, output of rice, first it is 0, then it is 6, 14, 20, it is calculated with the variable and fixed. Now here some TP you have to calculate, TP formula sum of MP, first will be 0, 0 plus 6, 6, 6 plus 14, 20, 20 plus 20, 48, 48 plus 24, 72. Likewise, TP will come. If TP comes, you can take the AP. AP equals to TP upon labor. If you calculate, you will get the data. So, this is the general calculation, student. Again, the graph is there, units of the variable factor and units of the variable factor. So, you can calculate there. These two graphs, first of all, MP, you can see these values are there. Na? But if you will design these values in the graph, by valuing, you will get the MP, and the second graph you will have to make the TP. So as to get the units of the variable factor TP, and one is the MP and the AP. So here you can get the units of the variable factor. MP is increasing till 3 units of labor are employed, whereas accordingly between 0 to TP is increasing at an increasing rate. You can see this graph. It is diminishing, it is going on increasing. Certain level it is going down. Here it is increasing as well as decreasing. So these are the 2 points, students, which help us to know. TP, AP line you can see there, MP line it is increasing, then suddenly it is decreasing. Average product, you know, it will be going as with the TP is going, okay, but not at the same level but in the different level. Observation relation between TP and MP, when we see table 2 and figure number 2 offers following observations on the relation between TP and MP. So long as MP is increasing, TP is increasing at increasing rate. Table 2 and figure number 3 shows that till the third unit of variable factor, MP is increasing from 6 to 14 to 28 tons of rice. Accordingly, while the first unit of labor contributes 6 tons of rice to total output. This story is not there. You can see there how what it is explaining there. TP is increasing at an increasing rate, 6 to 20, 20 to 48. You are seeing it is increasing at a certain level, it is going stable. Okay, where it goes same duplicate, it will, the MP will be resultant 0. Where the MP is coming, you can say 0. There the TP will be same as the previous level. And the next level, when the MP will more decline to negative points. Definitely now is the situation when TP also start declining. Instead of increasing, it will be diminishing at an increasing rate. So that only has been explained here, students. Observations has been said there. When MP start diminishing on all. So here it is told 14 tons and the third unit of contributes 28 tons, implying that TP is increasing at increasing rate. When MP start diminishing, TP increases only at a diminishing rate. Increases means from 80, 78, 78 to 72. What we are saying? It is declining, but in that declination also so high increasing is there. It is going on increasing at a diminishing rate. Okay, backward counting, it is going on increasing. So that's why it is said diminishing. TP increases only at a diminishing rate. It starts happening when a fourth unit, I already explained, 84 is the last. After 84, what we are seeing, when the MP start declining from 0 to -1, the TP also decreases from 84 to 80. So that is known as diminishing. When MP equals to 0, there is no addition of TP. It happens when 7 unit of labor is used. Corresponding to 0, MP is maximum, TP is maximum. MP is negative. That maximum says that is in that level of production, TP is highest at the point where the MP is 0. Okay, and after that it will start negative. When MP is negative, TP start declining. It happens when 8 unit of labor is employed. TP diminishes from 84 to 80 and MP is 80 to 80 minus 84, that is 4. Increasing MP implies the TP is increasing at an increasing rate. Diminishing MP implies the TP is increasing at a diminishing rate. 0 MP implies that TP stops increasing. Negative MP implies reduction in total product. Observation relation between AP and MP when we see AP increases so long as MP greater than AP. It happens in figure number 2 till point number D where AP is at its top. AP decreases when MP is less than. Average product decreases when MP is less than AP. Student, if you have to read the conditions, and you have to remember also when AP decreases when MP is less than AP. AP is at its maximum. Definitely when AP equals to MP, there at that level you can say AP is at its maximum. MP may be 0 or negative, but AP continues to be positive. It never becomes 0 or negative. So these are the relationship between AP and MP. I hope you have understood this relationship, student. Next class I will be proceeding with some of the calculations of this chapter. Today's class this much only. Thank you for today's class. Have a nice day.